Hello. Do you guys know about Styx? He's a pundit, an individual pundit or content creator who happens to be extremely bright. And he's talking about something that is super important in terms of censorship.
All right, everyone. We start off today with the dust up continuing. Of course, Steven Crowder naming names now. It was the Daily Wire, which I think most of us assumed that was trying to lock him into a contractual deal. And if you look at the contract in general, like the offer is huge. We're talking 50 million fucking dollars. It seems that the neocon ink sorts that are defending the Daily Wire right now are focusing on that in order to try to make the pitch that, well, Steven Crowder, look at how spoiled he is. We offered him 50 million big ones, and he considered that to be insulting. He's out of touch. He's a rich bitch, etc. It makes sense considering his audience size that he's going to be commanding a significant sum of money. That's the cope. That's literally what this is. Link in the description. Hard bastard, by the way, posting the most interesting part of the actual contract. Here's where it got sticky, and here's presumably why the contract was laughed at and rejected, and now it's been put out there for public consumption so people can see exactly what was offered. I dare say that Crowder's supporters and people wouldn't have liked the idea if they thought that he was going to take lumps for rejecting the sum, because the sum is tied to something else that's quite interesting, which is that the fee that Crowder gets for bringing, presumptively hundreds of thousands of paying customers onto the platform as part of effectively his own semi-autonomous sub-show reduces if you get strikes on YouTube. It reduces if you lose advertisers. It's reduced, again, fucking read it for yourself.
So Steven Crowder basically outed Ben Shapiro's Conservative Inc. in terms of censorship. So if Steven Crowder took his contract, which is arguably in the tens of millions of dollars, Ben Shapiro could conceivably subtract percentages of compensation if he irritated YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. So who's to say that Daily Wire couldn't actually manufacture a fake crisis and have an army of people complaining about content to create this divide or this problem with Crowder's content. So if you think about it, Conservative Inc. is trying to leverage their position, their financial position against the more edgy content creators to put them under the thumb of the same censorship in which the left is a proponent of. Who doesn't see a problem with this? I mean, this is really outrageous and completely unacceptable. So Daily Wire is like the Pac-Man trying to gobble up all the independent creators and keeping them under the thumb of big tech censorship. Whoever thinks Daily Wire is a great platform, their eyes should be opened as of right now. I mean, Candace is under Daily Wire, Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is deliciously satirical and sarcastic. I do enjoy Candace's content. occasionally, but she's tending to become more of a commentator on leftist culture, which I don't agree with because it just highlights and gives the leftist culture more airtime, which they don't really need because they have it on every, the 9 or so corporations that own all the media, television, film, right? All this shit. They don't need more PR. So stop trying, Candace is trying to be like a Perez Hilton, but like of the opposite ilk. And it's completely annoying. And it's an insult to people who have exited the Matrix's intelligence, like myself. Let's see. Let's just listen to a little bit more of Styx. I love Styx. He's an ex-Vermont native who moved to the Netherlands, who is extremely shrewd, sharp, funny. And if you don't like bad language, you probably won't like him because he can tend to be a little bit controversial with his chosen words, which I happen to enjoy.
I can read this out verbatim. I'll just get this open right now. I'll read it verbatim for people that don't want to take the fucking link. Below is what is at issue with the Crowder v. Daily Wire shit. Doesn't matter if the contract is $1 or for $100 million. This helps the people DW, claims to be fighting. Glad they are being exposed. Con Inc. needs to be dismantled, just like corporate media. I would say that missing link media like the Daily Wire is corporate media. Mm-hmm. When we use the term missing link media, we're talking about a very typical corporate ad, subscription, etc. structure. We're just talking about media groups that didn't originate in antiquity. So they didn't start out as a newspaper 200 years ago and then make a website and a Twitter handle. They started out in the internet era. It sort of begins with Drudge. There are many others. There's the Blaze, Daily Wire, Breitbart, groups on the right side. And then there are groups like Vox or Salon on the left. Huffington Post, you'd think of. Reduction of fee from lost revenue from boycotts, content strikes, or bans from major social media platforms. Thus, Crowder's central goddamn point the other day. You're trying to make me sanitize my content. There's literally no possibility of me comporting to these terms and not losing a large proportion of the income that you're actually contractually offering me unless I play good boy, unless I sanitize what I do. There'd be no more funny satire, no more shit flinging on Twitter, etc., etc. Ad drop. If Crowder is boycotted or dropped by more than 50% of his then extant ad partners, that is 50% of the revenue from those partners, and the company is not able to replace them within 90 days, the fee will be reduced by 25% until such time that ad revenue has been restored for a period of 90 days. So there's a quarter of that big offer, paid out monthly or yearly or whatever, right there, simply because pink-haired people had a problem with you. What the fuck has Crowder been sparring with now for the last half-decade? The Daily Wire has been, too. Individual content creators and missing link groups alike have dealt with this fucking horseshit now for years. You get a lynch mob of pink-haired freaks that get together, they start mass flagging things, they start mass complaining to payment processors, advertisers, app carriers, certainly Apple, Google, and they try to get you banned, and oftentimes it's been successful. Probably not a great time to lock yourself into a contract of this sort. Just saying, strategically speaking, it wouldn't be in his self-interest to have gone through with this.
Correct.
B, content strike. If any of the major platforms, e.g. YouTube, and they didn't put the B in there for some reason, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify issues a content strike other than a company-wide content strike, don't know what that means actually, such that Crowder content cannot be monetized on such platform, and the company is not able to resolve the issue within 90 days.
Yeah, so annoying. You get the picture, right? Daily Wire is trying to gobble up all the edgier content creators and trying to soften their edges. And we don't need that right now, particularly with encroaching tyranny and communism. So I'm glad Steven Crowder gave Daily Wire the middle finger and exposed them. I personally don't watch Steven Crowder, but I have a lot of respect for him addressing this issue and exposing it, because people need to know that sometimes the mythical divide, right? Both sides are fighting the same thing. They're fighting free speech within limits, right? Matt Walsh certainly says a lot of funny things, but obviously he has to draw or color within the lines. Otherwise, he'll lose money and he'll lose his contract. I don't know who else they have, the Daily Wire has, because I don't tend to watch any of them. When I'm scrolling on like Instagram or something, I follow Matt Walsh and I'll see like funny comments that he makes or material, and then occasionally if I'm scrolling on YouTube, I'll see shorts by Candace. But like I said, she's becoming like, why is she talking about Madonna? I don't care about Madonna. I care about my American freedom. I care about inflation. I care about opportunities, housing costs, interest rates, all the things that affect essentially all of us. Madonna doesn't affect all of us, all these like ridiculous actors like Idris, what's his name? Idris Elba. I don't know what his name is because I don't follow the guy, but he's like stumping for the WEF. It's some Crystal Awards, and the Crystal Awards, what the fuck is that? What is it? A bunch of people giving the same kinds of people awards, like the Academy Awards? Like, that's really legit? I don't think so. So it's very important at this, the stage is set for us to be able to parse truth from fiction and be able to discern who gets our ear, our time, our attention, which is currency, right? So shut off Daily Wire. Put them out of business. I wish, like I said before, Tom McDonald would open a movie studio for real entertainment with no social justice, social engineering, messaging from the CIA and all this fucking bullshit, all these people that are involved in our entertainment. They have no role in our entertainment. Entertainment should just be storytellers with no agenda. That's what we need. And obviously, I'm going to wrap it back up. Daily Wire has an agenda. And it's not my kind of agenda. So we need to band together and start boycotting companies that are on the DL censoring truth tellers. Done. Gone. Kaput. No thank you. Goodbye.